Hey everybody, welcome back. You know, there's a lot of unique and quirky things up here in Northern Maine that I just wanted to show you a few of them this week. We drive around, we love to do scenic drives, we love to get into little museums and little towns and things, and there's some really unique things up here that I think you'll enjoy. So here you go. We are at the Aroostook National Wildlife Refuge here outside of Limestone, Maine. And coincidentally, Loring Air Force Base used to be here. When the base closed in, I think it was maybe the 80s, early 90s, a lot of this land was just unused, and they've slowly reclaimed it back to make it some more meaningful spot for people to use. So there's lots of trails here that you can hike, but also they have some of the old Air Force Base buildings and structures that you can drive around in an auto tour and see. So we've done that.
And this was not just like literal nuclear warheads. This was kind of a serious deal up here.
It was built in the mid-50s to, I guess, serve the United States during the Cold War. And so there was nuclear missile silos up here and missile manufacturing, things like that. So big top secret stuff. And the brochure said that some of the buildings that are there that you can see on our auto tour were made to look like
office buildings,
but they had like fake windows and doorways on the outside, so that I assume from the air that the enemy might be confused about what this was. It just looked like another house or official building or something. And then the missile silos are kind of bunkers that are covered with grass. So if you would see them from the air, you might not notice them. I don't know, but that's what the brochure said. Really interesting. Oh, there's one. So these buildings were built to look like office buildings or residential buildings on the outside to confuse the enemy of what might be inside.
I'm sure it fooled a lot of people.
I'm not sure how that would fool anybody, but okay. About 20 minutes down the road from Loring Air Force Base is the city of Caribou, which is the northeasternmost city in the United States with a population of just under 8,000 people. And Caribou borders Presque Isle. Presque Isle is just to the south, so Jason used to come up here frequently when he was a teenager. And you might be familiar with Caribou even if you're not from around here, because if you ever watch the Weather Channel,
That's the weather station.
and you know, they're not really reporting on Maine, but they want to show some reference point like way up in the northeast of the country. They'll just throw Caribou up there because it's always horrifically cold here in the winter, and it's an interesting point. So you might have heard of it because of that. So we're gonna head into this store's Sleepers, which is one of Jason's favorites, and just bum around, maybe see if they've got any whoopie pies today. Nice rugged Maine clothes here.
We're in the land of that. I don't really have anything like this.
Well, show me the inside.
The nice flannel there.
It's nice and cozy.
It's a good winter when you RV jacket, because we never want to be that cold.
I like it.
Yeah.
You know, I've said before, there are thousands of miles of ATV and snowmobile trails in Maine, and one of the trails actually goes right by our newly purchased land that we bought, which is very exciting. So we love to drive around and see all of the ATV trails and people driving everywhere on them. Every time you see that little yellow diamond with the arrow, you know that's an ATV trail. And sometimes they'll even have little handwritten notes on them about amenities nearby that cater to ATVers, maybe a restaurant. This one here says bar and grill on it here in Caribou. And down in the Holton area, we've even seen trailside popcorn signs. There is a person who has their own little popcorn machine, and every weekend they go out on the trail and set it up so the ATVers can stop. That is so cool, and when we drive by, we can smell it. We gotta walk up the trail someday and see if we can get some popcorn. So we were so pleased to find a kind of a landing, sort of like a boat landing for ATVs here in Caribou. We've never seen it before. It must be pretty new. And it looks like it's a place that you can trailer your ATVs in and drop off, maybe have a picnic lunch and go on a ride. So great.
For ATVs.
Trailhead for ATVs. We've never really seen a big parking lot like this before.
Yeah, it's like a boat landing for ATVs.
Yeah. Right outside Caribou. Next, we're gonna head a little bit south to the town of Fort Fairfield to see a very unique golf course. The Aroostook Valley Country Club was established in the early 1900s as a golf course for Prohibition. So during Prohibition, of course, you couldn't drink in the United States, but you could drink in Canada. So what they did was they set up a golf course right on the border. And we've talked about this before, how there are several roads that run right down the border. One ditch is the United States, the other ditch is Canada. So how this golf course works is you can drive into the parking lot on the American side and enter the clubhouse, but once you get out onto the golf course, you're in Canada. And the bar in the clubhouse is technically in Canada. So during Prohibition, you could enter from the United States side and drink in Canada. Nowadays, things are a little bit more buttoned up with the border, of course, after 9/11. So how it used to work is people who wanted to golf, who were from Canada, could just come into the back of the golf course and golf. Then a little bit later, they instituted a border crossing that they had to do, and this I think was fairly recent, like in the last 20 years. You had to go down to the town to cross the border if you were a Canadian citizen, which was like 20 miles out of the way. And so enough people complained about that now they have set up a seasonal border crossing just kind of for the summer or golf season, where Canadians can cross the border right near the golf course, come into the American side to check in, and then go play in Canada. Now, Americans don't seem to have this restriction. They can still enter on the American side and play in Canada. There's no border crossing required. as far as official customs. I don't know if when people check in for their tea time, if they have to show their passports if they're Americans. We don't know. I couldn't find any information online. But definitely, if you're a Canadian citizen, you have to check in across the border and then check into the American entrance to the golf course, which is just endlessly fascinating to Jason and I. And you can see that the golf cart path runs right down the road. The cart path is in Canada. The road that we are on is in America.
Right there. Yep.
That's the border.
How does that work?
So they're playing in Canada. The clubhouse is accessible from the US.
I literally have no idea if there's some special dispensation here. That's fat, because this is... If I just pull over, I'll literally be in Canada if I put my tires.
Oh, look at that marker there. Look, the golf cart path is on the left. Or maybe that's the ATV trail.
Some of the border crossings, especially the ones in the far northwest of Maine, have a video camera for people to cross, especially for logging trucks and stuff. So, there's Canadians and or Americans golfing.
I mean, we're driving on the border. Those people are in Canada.
That clubhouse is in Canada.
It's got a Canadian flag.
So that's what it was back in Prohibition. You just started in the US in the parking lot, and then the whole thing was over in Canada so you could drink. But yeah, this is a throwback to a very different era.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. I hope you got a kick out of these fun and unique things in Northern Maine. I'm going to take a week off next week and there's not going to be a video because we are going on a little summer vacation to visit some friends and family. So I hope you're having a great summer and you're able to get out and have a little vacation time for yourself, and we will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye guys.